Okay, so little project on this video. Went out to the forge today to work on a chef's knife. As you watch this video, you're going to see what happens when I actually measure things. Anybody that's familiar with my work knows I very seldom ever put a tape measure on anything. Well, I did today and it didn't work out. But that's okay. What we ended up with is this. Now that's a 6.5 inch chef's knife. The handle is spalted maple. But the problem is, this is what I was shooting for, which is a 10 inch chef's knife. So anyway, this is the one on the video. It was my screw up blade. This is what it should have been. Don't know how I made that mistake, but I did. But I'm not ashamed to show you my mistakes, because the only man that ever doesn't make a mistake is the man that doesn't do anything. So, watch today's video. Enjoy my mistakes. Hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching. God bless. All right, so hadn't used the power hammer on the video in a while, so I thought I would this time. Just gonna work the point in. Exactly the same thing as we do with a hand hammer on the anvil. Just going to use the power hammer to make things a little faster. I'll always go to the anvil and use the hand hammer to clean everything up. But we'll be using the power hammer to break stock down. And right here is where I think I screwed up on my length. I had that center punch mark at the right spot, but didn't have my fuller at the right spot. I was shooting for actually a 7-inch blade on this one, and I ended up with a 6.5, so the blade in the earlier part of the video was 9 inches. I wanted a 9 and a 7. I ended up with a 9 and a 6.5. Pitiful. Work the handle down for width. I go months without using a tape measure, and the first time I try to measure something, I screw it up. Work it out a little bit. And whack that handle off on the hardy cutter on the anvil. Work it down for width a little more, and we'll finish that handle up on the anvil. Right now we're going to clean up the blade profile and get it ready to work the bevels in. It's not bad. Back to the power hammer, start out at the heel, pulling material from the spine down towards the edge. And once the heel is established, just work down the width of the blade, again pulling material down from the spine towards the edge. And the closer I get to the tip, the farther back up toward the spine I start drawing down. That starts to work the distal taper into the blade. And once we're done here, we're going back to the anvil to finish up. I could probably finish the whole thing on the power hammer, but nah. I just feel better working on the anvil. And here's where I'm discovering my mistake. I've got measurements marked on that piece of steel. Yep, too short. Oh well, no need to cry about spilt milk. Get back to work. Just clean the bevels up, take out the hammer marks. Or some of the hammer marks. Want it to look a little bit rough. Believe it or not, there's a lot of folks that won't buy a handmade knife if it's polished and pretty because they don't believe it's hand forged unless it's all rough and ragged looking. Blacksmiths spent thousands of years working steel and different materials and trying to make it polished and smooth and get a great finish on it. And nowadays everybody thinks it ought to look like it'd been beat with a jackhammer. Yep, still too short. Oh well. I could probably stretch another ½ inch out, but it'd make the blade thinner than I want. So we'll move on to the handle. Now, that handle was too short, but we're going to work it out for length. And we're going to work some distal taper into the handle, stretch it out longer. And add a little contour to it. It'll clean up nicely on the grinder. Well, not bad. Yep, that'll do. Thanks for watching.